And let's talk a little Erik ten Hag, shall we? Because it looks as though he is nailed on for the Manchester United job. And if you don't believe me, then you only need to ask Mark Ogden. His latest report all about this man coming to Old Trafford and hopefully changing things around as we now welcome in Mark and Don Hutchison as well. So, Mark, tell us what the latest is and what your report's about.
Well, the latest is that United have had what they call a thorough process, and I've been told that it's basically identified Ten Hag as the preferred candidate because football reasons, financial reasons, is obviously a cheaper option than Mauricio Pochettino, but they feel that he's also a guy that's got a career that's on an upwards trajectory, shall we say. He's not had any failures to worry about. So he's a guy that doesn't know failure at the moment. He's had a winning career so far. I think United are hoping that kind of positivity can rub off on his team. But I do think that there are issues with Ten Hag that have to be addressed. Has he managed a big club in a big league, big players? Probably not. Can he handle a dressing room that's got a lot of demanding characters? Can he handle the pressure of being the Man United manager? Ajax is a big club, but if you have a bad season in the Netherlands, I suppose you finish second or third. In England, if you have a bad season and you're Man United, you could be fourth or fifth or sixth. So it's a big pressure, but he's the guy that United want. He's the guy that's been recommended to the owners and to the chief executive. So unless Joe Glazer or Richard Arnold suddenly says, no, I'm not having this, we'll go for Mauricio Pochettino, which is unlikely, Ten Hag will get the job pretty soon.
Mark, do we know anything about Ten Hag's demands if he is to come into this role?
Well, in terms of demands, I think he just wants the football club to run like a football club. I think then that is a fair demand to make. I think he wants to make sure that he has a final say on players. He has a say on his backroom staff, the way that he plays. I don't think he's going to come in with a huge list of demands which are unreasonable. I don't think he's going to be like a Pep Guardiola type where everything has to, go to his tune at Man City. I think with Ten Hag, he's realistic. I think he realises that the club he's going to has had problems in recent years in terms of recruitment. They haven't won many things. There have been bad decisions made at every level of the club. He can only look after the football side. Now, if he can look after the football side and make sure that the recruitment side is working properly, he has a chance. But if he could be the best coach in the world at Man United, if the recruitment is as bad as it has been for the last 10 years, he's going to struggle. They've wasted so much money over the years on players. They've overspent on players. They've backed out of deals that they could have done for people like Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham, who both went to Borussia Dortmund. So the judgment in the market has been really poor. And if it continues to be poor, it's going to be difficult for Ten Hag to close the gap on Liverpool and Man City.
Don, what are your thoughts on if this appointment is to go ahead?
It feels like a good one, Kay, to be honest. I think he's schooled the right way. Obviously, disciple from Cruyff, and the performances that Ajax have been playing this season have been tremendous, and seasons before, Champions League, etc. Also, is it Bayern Munich as Pep's number two, or in the reserves, if you like, Pep's sort of assistant, and Pep made sure that Ten Hag followed the same sort of rituals, the same systems. So reserve team players under Ten Hag would then go straight into the first team. So he's trusted. So I think from what I hear and what I've seen as him being a manager, I think Man United are going to enjoy his style. I think Mark's right, though, when he talks about the money side of it, in terms of how much money Man United actually got to spend, because they feel, or your perception feels like they're one of the richest in the world, but they haven't got hundreds of millions to spend. There's reports in the papers today over in the UK that they want to buy Calvin Phillips, they want to buy Declan Rice for £120 million, they want to buy Harry Kane for £100 million, totaling about £250-300 million. Man United haven't got that sort of money, so recruitment is going to be absolutely key.
What are a club like Manchester United going to be expecting of a coach like Erik ten Hag, Shaka?
I think they need to, well, not that they're expecting of Erik ten Hag, but what's needed for Manchester United is just a change in culture around who that football club is, how they position themselves, not just as a spending club, as Don was pointing out, but you also have to, and this was one of Sir Alex Ferguson's great strengths. Despite the money that he spent in reinforcing that squad and making it one of the best in European football, he never lost focus of the academy and bringing players through and having that save the first team, either directly through players or through sales. So you have to understand who Manchester United are culturally and how they've gone away from that in recent years. And that's one of the things I like about Ten Hag, given his experience with Ajax. Listen, the easier choice would have been Pochettino, given his experience within the Premier League. But when you look at Ajax and how they do business, and I understand the open nature of the Eredivisie maybe doesn't serve well in the Premier League, but Ajax always brings players through. And having somebody who understands that transition, moving players from academy into the reserves, into the first team squad, I think moves you in the right direction. Now you have to get that other recruitment side to it absolutely right. And you have to trust that Ten Hag can also do that. So for me, it ticks a lot of boxes in terms of Manchester United rediscovering who they are in positioning themselves to compete. It's not going to be immediate, but they have to get themselves back on that footing.
Going back to what Mark was just saying, and the most damning in the statement was that Ten Hag is trying to find a place in a football club that is run like a football club. Man, if that's the standard now for Manchester United, that you're hoping that the football club is run like a football club, the standard is so incredibly low. But yes, that is the reality. And that is bare minimum. That is the lowest common denominator. Hoping that you're walking into a job in which football decisions are the ones that benefit the football club. And that you keep those decisions outside of whatever financial decisions you make in terms of investment in the club. Investment in the club should be first and foremost on the football side. And then the financial side takes care of itself because of the ongoing success on the field. They've gotten it all the way around, the wrong way around if you're Manchester United. And while I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying in terms of the identity of the club and bringing players through, they also have to change what the priorities are. The team should be priority number one. And then everything else comes with it.
Mark, are the fans, the Manchester United fans, excited about the appointment of Ten Hag?
Yes, they are. I think it's kind of had universal approval if and when it gets done. I think that they see him as a change from what they've had in the past. I think in the last 3 or 4 managers have been guys that have maybe failed somewhere else. I think Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal had failure on their record. They came to United almost to relaunch the career. I think Ten Hag isn't that character. I think they feel a sense of a breath of fresh air with Ten Hag in many ways, that they haven't got a guy that's trying to rebuild his career. So I think, yeah, they are excited. They look at his Ajax team and think that it's an exciting team. Like I said, I think there are 1 or 2 little reservations there about whether he has the character and the mentality to deal with the pressure that comes with managing the biggest club in the biggest league. And that is the biggest club in the biggest league that hasn't won anything for nearly 10 years, anything substantial. There's a lot of pressure on the next Man United manager. And Erik Ten Hag at this stage, he's 52 years old, has never managed in a big league at a big club. So, it might take you like a duck to water, and he may really struggle with it. So that is a big challenge that we have to wait to see if he can address.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.